So a quick way, instead of doing long division, is simply to make x equals minus 3 and x equal to minus 1. Okay, so we'll need our calculator. So let's start off by putting in x equals minus 3. X equals minus 3. Can you see why I'm saying x equals minus 3? Because what you do is you have x plus 3 here, and you imagine in your head that that equals 0. So then x must equal minus 3. This is what I pictured in my head. X plus 3 equals 0. So if I take that over, I get x equals minus 3. Okay, can you read this? Just read this out to me. What is it? Px cubed.
Px cubed.
Yeah.
Plus 73x squared.
Yeah.
Plus 82x.
Yeah.
Plus q.
Q. Okay, good. Okay. Now, what do I do next? Substitute. Yeah. Actually, maybe Sabrina, you can tell me what I'll have to do next. Like, I'm going to substitute now.
Substitute the 3 in the
Yeah, the minus 3. Yeah. So what I mean is maybe you can read out what I should write next. So what will I have? I'll have p
times minus 3.
Yeah.
3.
Cubed. Yeah.
Plus 373 times minus 3 squared.
Yeah.
Plus 82 times minus 3
Plus q. And what should that equal?
0. No.
Not this time. Yeah.
150.
I believe so. Yeah, 150. Good. Okay. Actually, I don't know your name.
Ray.
Ray, okay. Do I know your name? Abir, okay. You're in John's class, aren't you? Or you're in my class? Yeah. I'm sorry, I haven't memorized everyone's face yet because it usually takes me about 4 weeks.
You only know your name because I'm constantly asking for him.
No. That's only half true.
Can you explain, I'm sure this is a silly question, but it says x plus 3, why are we making it x minus 3?
Yeah, like how can I go from that guy to that guy, basically?
Yeah, just why do we do that? Like I want the logical explanation as to why we do that.
Yeah, like I suppose the simplest way to think about it is like this. A little bit of vocabulary, okay? So if I say something like x plus 1 and x plus 2 equals 0, these are called linear factors. But if I'm trying to figure out what the x value is, I don't really care that it's x plus 1. I want to know what number I use for x. So in our head we imagine this as x plus 1 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. Because if I have two things which are multiplying each other and they equal 0, then it means each one of them must be 0. Because, I mean, the only way you can multiply and make 0 is if one of them, with a 0. So, I can think of this, instead of as being one statement, I can think of it as two statements. And then I can change that two statements into two values for x. X equals minus 1 and x equals minus 2. These guys are kind of what we call the roots. So there's not much of a difference. But I suppose the point here is I can't really put x plus 3 into this. I need to have a number for x. And the way we fix that is we imagine what we get if you made it equal to 0. Whatever you would get when x is equal to 0, that's the value of x that you use. Now what? Did you hear the door knock as well? No. I thought I did. I don't know if that helps at all. I suppose you just think of it like this. If you ever need to change a factor into a number, you imagine that the factor is equal to 0 and then figure out what the x is in your head. Or you can write it down. So like if I said x plus 3 is a factor, give me the value for x, then you just make it equal 0 and get the x by taking the 3 over.
And making it 0 makes it negative?
Yeah, because when you bring the 3 to the other side, it becomes minus 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Is that okay now? Yeah. So did I actually get your name?
Abir.
Abir, I did, sorry. I realised you only told me 60 seconds ago and I already forgot. Okay, right, so what's the next thing to do? So Ray, would you know what I should do next with this? So I have it, this line here, what would be the next thing for me to do?
To start dividing.
Yeah, well, maybe not dividing,
Yeah,
but
you know
calculating.
calculating.
Yeah. So minus 3 cubed is minus 27p. Now, if you can do you have this one already, what is it?
411.
411, okay.
Plus
You put the two of these together already, have you?
0. Yeah.
You put both of them together
Yeah.
as one thing on your calculator and you got that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have plus q equals 150 then. Good, okay. Right. Okay. So Sabrina, would you know what should I do next then to this line? It's not something that's really in the book, it's something with this line. There's still a little bit of cleaning up I could do.
I know you'd find one of those letters, like you...
Oh yeah, well that's actually in a little bit, yeah. Just before we get to that particular step, there's something I can do to clean this up, so to speak.
The 150 and the 411?
Yeah, you spot. Yeah, they should go together.
150 minus 411.
I think I'll bring the 411 over to the right and do one. Yeah. I think that's what you said. Is it so? Minus 27p plus q equals 150 minus 411.
Minus 261.
Thank you. Minus 261. Okay, so in fact, what we've done now is we've made one equation with one unknown. I thought I was having two unknowns. Yeah. Okay. Got that? So far it's okay. Now, so now I have to go, I kind of have to repeat all of this again, because what's the other linear term here? That was x plus 3, and what's the other one?
X plus 1.
X plus 1, okay, so we'll see now, since you were asking me, Sabrina, what do I make x equal to?
Minus 1.
Yeah, x equals minus 1. And then Nabir, what do I do with this minus 1?
You substitute.
I sub it back into the same thing, don't I? So let's see what we get there. That's p minus 1 cubed plus 73 times minus 1 squared plus 82 times minus 1 plus q. And Ray, what should this equal now when I put in the minus 1?
Negative 88.
Very good, minus 88. Okay. Right, so let's see if you remember the word. So what do I do next?
You calculate.
I calculate, yeah. So that'll be minus p plus 73 minus 82 plus q equals minus 88. Sabrina, which numbers or which things can I kind of group together to clean up a little bit?
No, you can move over the 73 and 82.
Yeah, I can move them over to the right, can't I? So I'll have here minus p plus q equals minus 88 minus 73 plus 82. Whatever that is. So, Avir, do you have this calculated or?
Yeah, it's minus 9.
In total it's minus 9.
Oh, no.
Or is it plus 9 here?
No, minus p plus q equals to minus 79.
Minus 79.
Yeah.
Minus p plus q. Okay. Now, Sabrina, you suggested something to do earlier, which we're now at the point that we can do that. So what exactly is the next thing to do here?
You take one of the letters to find out what that one's value is. Like you would keep minus p, I guess, and move the q over.
Fine, okay, yeah.
Is that right?
Oh, there's multiple things you can do. So you haven't said anything wrong yet.
Okay.
So minus p equals minus 79 minus q. So okay, that's fine. So what would you do next then?
I have no idea.
Okay. All right. Well, it was a good start anyway. So there was nothing wrong there. We can take a different approach. There's actually two things that we can do here.
Okay.
Whoops. How the heck did that happen? Okay. So, look, what you were suggesting, you're kind of halfway there. I won't do it this way, but I just want you to know what you could have done next if you did it this way. You could have multiplied by -1, so you get P equals 79 plus Q. You could have flipped all the signs. You're allowed to do that. And now that you have the P, what you could have done is put it back into this guy. Replace the P here with this.
To find out what the Q
To
is.
figure out the Q, yeah. But what I kind of prefer doing, and I think a lot of students prefer doing this, is the elimination method. So what you do is you write your two equations down, side by side. What's that one? Minus P plus Q equals minus 79. And Ray, would you know what I do next if I have these two? You know what I mean when we say elimination method for solving here? Elimination meaning cancelling. What do I do next?
So,
the Q's cancel, yeah. How do you cancel? What do you do to these two lines? What do we do?
Divide.
Not divide. Divide's a very popular word today. We haven't actually done any dividing.
You calculate them.
Calculating is too general now. We need a different verb. So we subtract them. We minus them.
That's
Okay.
actually what I meant, but yeah.
Okay, alright, that's alright, yeah. Say again, Amir?
We can multiply the second
By -1 if you like, yeah.
by 27.
Ah, to cancel the P! Okay, I won't because the Q is already for me to cancel, you know. Okay, so let's minus these lines. Is that what you did at 27?
Yeah, I didn't really see.
You didn't see the Q, yeah. You were just looking at the P then, yeah. Okay, so minus 27 minus -1.
Yeah.
So that's
Minus
minus
26.
26p.
Okay.
And then Q minus Q is gone. Q minus Q is gone. And then minus 261 minus 79. What's that, please? You got your calculator handy? So minus 261 minus 79.
So minus 261 plus 79.
Yeah, minus 261 plus 79.
Minus 182.
182. Alright, so what do we do next, actually? Yes.
Now you divide.
Now you divide, yeah. So you bring the 26
Over.
yeah. So you get P equals minus 182 over minus 26. What's that? 7. Is it? I'm going to go with 7. Let's see if I'm right.
Yeah.
7, okay.
Well,
No.
And now we redo that with the other equation.
Yeah, so what do you think, Sabrina? Which one should we sub this into? Because you can actually choose any equation with P and Q in it. So which equation would you opt for?
The one with just P and Q.
Yeah, like you mean
That's
like
the
this
second
one here.
And
Yeah.
Put 7 in and then
And just put 7 in for the P. So you get minus 7 plus Q equals minus 79. So Q equals minus 79 plus 7. Is that right? Yeah. So Q minus 72. So we have our P and we have figured out our Q. Correct, yeah?
Wait, Q equals minus 79
Yeah.
plus 7?
Yeah.
So why are we dividing that one?
Well, because this isn't multiplying Q, this is like minus 7 plus Q. So if you look up here, I'm allowed to just take this over to the right as a plus. It would be different. What you're thinking of is if it's like this. Look, you're thinking it's like this. Then it divides.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tiny bit different. We have this.
Plus Q.
Yeah. So it's like this guy moves over as a minus then, yeah. What do you think, Ray?
Well, it all makes sense, but how are we supposed to find the 150 and the negative 88?
Which one?
Aren't these our goals?
Oh, we used that already. Yeah. So do you see here when we said equals 150
Okay.
and when we said equals minus 88, we've already used them.
Alright.
Yeah.
So we're done.
So we're done, yeah. You
Okay.
sound surprised.
Yeah.
It's literally so easy, but then like, it's like, there's so many different equations for all the different things. I on the exams, will we get an equation sheet?
Yeah, it's on Moodle, so you can have a look at what it
That's
looks
the
like.
sheet we will get.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for instance, this question in exam, what are we given?
Well, there's not really any formula here I used, you know.
That's just like our own brain,
Yeah,
right? How to
like
do
it's
it.
not like, for example, the formula book would contain that quadratic formula, you know, the minus b plus minus 1. It'll have things like that, but there wasn't any formula I used here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were asking me, or I think you all probably wanted to see number 5. Now, I'm not going to do number 6 because number 6 is not on the exam. Okay, I only put that in there as like further difficult practice, but the exam only goes up. Huh?
So next week.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to keep the people who get them finished busy with something extra. So the exam syllabus and exam only goes up to number 5. So there's number 6 is of no importance to you. If you can do number 5, then you can do it for the exam. Because, for example, what did we do? 5G.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, if you just circled 5F to do at home by yourself, and if you get the right answer, then, you know, that's fine. It means you know how to do them, and you didn't have any problems.
You go ahead.
Yeah.
Can we do like one without the remainders? Like,
Yeah, so there's missing A and D, one of them.
Yeah, let's I'll make up my own one since I can make up smaller numbers. Okay, so here's my question. I'll just make it up. So x plus 1 and x minus 1 are factors of maybe I can't make it up. Let's see. I want to pick one that's not so hard. In my head to do. Yeah, okay. Right, let's see. I'll write this one down. So actually, I'm sorry, I'll have to change this one a tiny bit. What am I doing? Okay, sorry. Px cubed minus 54x squared plus 77x minus, I would say plus q. And I'm not using x plus 1, x minus 1. I'm going to use, I'll stick with x minus 1, but I'll just change the other guy to x minus 6. So x minus 1 and x minus 6 instead. Just make it. Alright, so now let's have a look at this one. So Ray, actually, would you know what the meaning of this word is? If I said something's a factor, what the heck's a factor? Would you know?
I'm not sure. All I know is you're supposed to divide them by.
Yeah, you're right. These get divided. So this is divided by these two. But what does it mean? Do you know, Beer, what it says as a factor?
The remainder is 0.
Yeah. Factor is like a code word, so to speak, for saying that the remainder is 0. Okay, so it's like I said this, when px cubed minus 54x squared plus 77x plus q is divided by x minus 6 and x minus 1, the remainders are 0 for both. That's the meaning here. It means when I divide by those two, I get a remainder of 0. So can you see how it's like the previous question? So, Sabrina, what should I do now to solve this? What's my first step here? Yeah.
Factor in one of the
Yeah, so what value should I use for x?
minus 1.
Let's see, not quite minus 1?
Plus 1, sorry.
Yeah, that's it, plus 1, and this one?
Plus 6.
Plus 6. So if I put in the 1, I get p1 cubed minus 54 times 1 squared, plus 77 times 1, plus q, and Ray, what should that equal?
I do it on a calculator?
No, it's
0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why 0?
Because they're factors.
Yeah, and the remainder is 0 because they're factors. So let's get this. This is p minus 54 plus 77 plus q. So can you just put in minus 54 plus 77 on the calculator? Let's see what we get.
23.
Oh, so p plus 23 plus q equals 0. So that means p plus q equals minus 23. Yeah? That's okay.
Because you did minus 54 plus 77.
Yeah, I got plus 23, which I took to the right. Yeah. Okay. Now, a beer.
Yeah.
Once, yeah?
John gave us this paper, I don't know, it might help.
Yeah, question. Actually, yeah, these are all very similar to what we're doing.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, like you see here, look, in number 1, we say that these are factors of this.
Okay.
So, what do you make x equal to?
2.
And
Minus 4.
and when you put them in, what should it equal?
0.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But what about like question 3 for example?
This is actually easier because the first thing they ask you to do is they put, what do you put for x? 3.
Yeah.
And it's a factor, so what should it equal?
0.
0. So what they're saying is, after you do that, you should get this. You see? Like, it would be like me saying, show that p plus q equals minus 23.
Okay.
So it's just a way of letting the student know if they got the answer right or not. So this one here, if my question was show that p plus q equals minus 23, I would say, okay, I'll begin. I'll put in x equals 1. And I simplify and I get p plus q equals minus 23. So then I finish the question. That part's done. So this is just half, the first half of what you normally do. Now they give you a second part. They say when it's divided by x minus 2, the remainder is 12. So what's the x here?
Minus 2. Sorry, 2.
2, yeah. And what should the cubic equal? Should equal 12. So what happens? You get another equation with p and q. Now they don't tell you what it is, but you hope that you get it right. And then what do you do with these two equations?
You minus them?
Yeah, that's it. Or well, whatever you need to do to solve them. Yeah. So you see, these questions are really the same. They're just maybe phrased differently, but you're doing the same thing. Yeah. Well, we finished this one. What do I put in next, Ray, for x?
Put in
Yeah.
negative 1.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we've done this one. I'll take that off there.
So we're gonna put in
6 then. Yeah. So we have p 6 cubed minus 54 times 6 squared plus 77 times 6 plus q. Any chance of beer that you have those numbers calculated?
216p
216p, yeah.
minus 1944
1944, yeah.
plus 462
Plus 462
plus
plus
q,
q equals 0. And now you can take those two over, yeah. So you get 216p plus q equals 1482. Okay, that's a 216 there. Okay. Now, Sabrina, what should be happening next?
1 second.
Sure, yeah, no problem.
I'm trying to write it down.
No rush.
Remove the 1944 over to become minus 1944.
Let's see. Oh yeah, sorry. What we did here was we just added these two together, and I think we got minus 1482, and then we took it over to the right.
You added them first.
Yeah, added them first. Yeah, that doesn't matter too much, but yeah, added first. Okay.
Now you would substitute. Oh no. Oh yeah, put in the no. I don't know what you would do.
What you do? Alright, so you do. P plus q equals minus 23, and then 216p plus q equals 1482. So there are your two equations.
Oh, now you do the subtraction.
Yeah, and you subtract them then.
Oh yeah.
That's okay. So we subtract and we get minus 215p equals, what's that, minus 15? 1505. Okay, so then P will equal minus 1505 over minus 215. 6?
Sorry,
Yeah.
why is it minus, the minus 23 plus?
Oh, sorry, that's a plus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus.
And the,
So that's a plus.
and the minus 2 and 5.
Oh no, that is minus 2. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm right, it's minus. No, I did P minus 216 is minus 215
Okay.
and minus 23 minus 1482. So
Okay.
it'll be plus in total though at the end.
Okay.
What is the P actually?
It's 7.
7, okay. Right, what would be the easiest equation to use to get the Q, Abir? What do you think?
P plus Q.
Yeah, definitely this one, huh? P plus Q equals minus 23.
Yeah.
So we have P, sorry, I'll wait though. Just wait a second for you to get this. Yeah. So,
7 plus Q.
that's it, yeah. So I'll just write it over here. So we're going to use P plus Q equals minus 23. P is 7, so 7 plus Q equals minus 23. So Q is minus 23 minus 7, yeah. So minus 30. So there is the Q, and there is the P. Yeah. Don't know if you're happy or unhappy, Ray.
I'm alright.
You're okay. In between.
Yeah.
So I think we're okay with these P's and Q's ones, yeah? So what would we like to have a look at next then? Now I should say, that actually is an important exam question, because I do actually see that quite a bit in the exam, so it is an important one. Yeah, what were you saying there, Sabrina? Which one?
On page 20, can we do them 3, 4, and 5?
3, 4, and 5. Let's see. Okay. I will start. I'll start with 2.
Like number 2?
You said 2, 3, and 4, didn't you?
No, it's 3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5. On page 20.
Yes.
Yeah. So number 5 you can forget about, because that's not on your exam. So it's just 3 and 4 then.
Okay.
So 3. Any particular letter? No. I'll do F. 3F then.
Okay.
On page 20. I'll write this down for you so you can see. Well, actually, no, you can see here, right? So in 3F, you just want to simplify this fraction. Okay. Now look, this looks harder than this, but if I said this to you, 100 over 25, what does that equal? No calculator needed. It's equal to 4. Yeah. But how did you get 4? What did you do to get 4?
Divided them.
You divided them. So this is just a way of asking you to divide. So all I'm asking you to do is to take 2x minus 1 and it divide it into, 14x cubed.
What question are we doing?
This one here.
Okay.
Yeah, minus 29x squared minus x plus 6. Let me just get my calculator open actually, so it'll be easier if I have it open. Okay, so the first thing is, do you understand that means to do this? Yeah, because it's division, yeah? Right, so let's do our long division together. Ray, how's your long division?
Not too good, but I can try.
You can give it a go.
Yeah.
Would you know what the first number up the top here is?
Oh, well, there is no number there.
I'm sorry, I mean to say what we should write down as our first
Okay.
number.
Yeah, we should put 14x cubed, then you divide it by 2x.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. So what would you be left with to put up here?
7x squared.
Very good, okay. Now this is what you did is right, this is how I think about it. The way I think about it is, I try to imagine, I have to write a number here, so that when it multiplies to 2x, it becomes this. Okay, so I think, what do I multiply 2 by to make it 14? Oh, it's 7. What do I multiply x by to make it x cubed? X squared. That's how I just think about it. So, Abir, what do we do next now that we have raised 7x squared?
7 squared divided 1. Like,
Yeah, what's the verb? What are we doing?
oh no, it's 7x squared it gives us minus 14x cubed.
Ah, yeah, so what's the verb? What are you doing there?
Multiplying.
Yeah. So 7x squared multiplies both of these, yeah?
Yeah.
So 7x squared multiplied by 2x is 14x cubed. And then 7x squared multiplies minus 1 to make minus 7x squared. Okay. And Sabrina, would you know the next step once you have that line written down there in green?
Then
You subtract them.
So that cancels out,
Yeah, so they go.
and then you're left with 22x.
Yeah, minus 22, I
Minus
think,
22.
yeah. Okay, and then, Ray, would you know what happens after this step?
Same thing, you take the minus 22 and you times.
Yeah, now there's just one tiny thing to do before that. You just skip.
Oh, you take down.
So you take down, yeah.
7.
Yeah,
That's
take
right,
down the
negative
minus x and the 6 then, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Sabrina, would you see what the next number at the top here is, what we need?
Yeah, you put minus 22x at the top, or minus 11x.
Now, don't tell her which are you going to
11.
pick. 11, okay, yeah. Minus 11x, yeah. No, that's good.
Multiplies 2.
Yeah, it multiplies the 2. So it's minus 22x squared plus 11x. Is that okay, guys? Yeah. Right, so next I subtract. Maybe Ray, you could tell us what happens when I subtract then.
The sign, those cancel
Those
out.
cancel, yeah.
And then you take down the 6. Sorry, not yet. It becomes in negative 12x.
Very good. And then
You take down the 6.
then 6. Okay, and Abir,
Yeah.
the last multiplication I need?
Into 6.
6. Plus or minus?
Minus.
Minus 6. So now I have minus 12x plus 6. And my remainder? 0. No. This is the answer here.
Okay.
Now why is the top number the answer? Well look, guys, if you just look here 1 second, we'll go back to that. If I said what's 100 divided by 25, you would go, okay, well 25 into 100, that goes 4 times and you have no remainder. So you would say the answer here is 4. In other words, the number you got on the top. So likewise here, the thing you got on the top is the answer. Yeah. Okay, so when you're ready, we'll have a look at something from number 4 here. Let's see. I will do for G, I think would be good. 4G. Yeah, no problem. Any questions on this one? No, we're okay with the long division, we think? Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look at 4G. This one's again a little bit harder. So I say factorize 18x cubed minus 29x squared minus 67x minus 24. And the hint is x minus 3 is one of the factors. Okay, so this one's a little bit tricky. I wonder if anybody knows what to be doing first. So it's that one there.
Divide x.
Yeah. That's right. Now why do you do that though?
Factor.
Yeah, it's a factor. And in fact, when you divide it, what should the remainder be?
Zero.
It should be 0. So if you get 0, you know that you've divided correctly. Okay, so let's divide here. 18x cubed minus 29x squared minus 67x minus 24. Okay, Abir, what's my first number here, do you think?
18x squared.
18x squared. And then I have 18x cubed.
Minus 54x squared.
Okay, 54x squared, right. Right, now, since you have your calculator handy, when I subtract, what do I get?
Minus 27x squared.
Minus 27x squared, and then I need to take these two down, don't I? Okay. So when you're ready, Ray, just tell me what the next multiplication is when you're ready.
Okay, negative 67.
Oh, I think you're looking at the wrong one. I know why you said that.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Negative 27x.
Very good. So that's minus 27x squared, and then, we'll need a calculator now. Minus 27 times minus 3 is plus 81. Okay, 81x. Right, and Sabrina, what's the next step now when you're ready?
You
Subtract, so they're gone, and that'll be a pretty big number. 40?
Well, minus 67 minus.
Yeah, so minus 67 minus 81.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that going, like,
140.
oh, I feel like something's gone wrong. That shouldn't be so big. So maybe I miswrote something down. Where has it gone wrong? Let's backtrack to see. I wasn't expecting such a big number at the end. Because I feel like I won't get a remainder of 0 now. Which obviously we know we should get a remainder of 0. Okay, so let's all check together. Is 18 right? Yeah. 18 times x is 18. And then 18 times the 3, that is 54. Yeah, and then we subtract. So minus 29 plus 54. Let's just double check that. So minus 29 plus 54. What's that?
It's 25.
Ah, not 27. So whoever told me 27 was making my life hard. So we'll have to go back here. Right, so it should be 25, we said?
Yeah.
X squared minus 67x minus 24. Okay. Right, so Sabrina, what's my next number up the top there? 25. Yeah, 25x. So that's 25x squared minus 75x. Okay, I subtract. Is that 8x? I believe it's 8x. Minus 67 plus 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's the last number here then, Abir?
24.
Are you sure?
No. Oh, sorry. 8.
8. And then that will make 8x minus 24. Okay. And as we hoped, the remainder is 0. Yeah. Now, so we're nearly finished. We are looking for the 3 factors, okay? So if you look here, it means we're looking for the 3 things we multiply to make the cubic. And we already know one of them for free. They tell us in the question that one of them is x minus 3. So where on earth do we get the other 2 from?
Oh, we factorize them.
That's it, yeah. You get the other 2 from factorizing the quadratic that you got. That's where the other 2 answers come from. Okay? Is that okay, Sabrina? Yeah, so how... I don't know calculator just yet. So we want to factorize this. Okay? Now, factorizing will be a little bit tricky, especially when you have the number at the front. Because there's many ways to make 18. You can say 18 and 1, you can say 9 and 2, you know. And also the 8 at the back, you can write that as 8 and 1, you could write it as 4 and 2. So we will use the calculator to help us factorize. Because what the calculator can do is it can give us the roots. And if we know the roots, we can change the roots into factors. Do you have yours can't, I'm sorry to tell you. Yours can. And Sabrina, what's your calculator? What have you got?
What's wrong with
Okie dokie.
What's wrong with my calculator?
Nothing's wrong with it. It's just inferior to my calculator because mine has more functions. So, for example, watch this. So, Sabrina, you might have to write down these instructions so you can read it. Yeah. So, if you type in mode 53. Now, you see, you don't even have a mode 53. I don't even know. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, you see.
How so?
Because you don't have this calculator.
I was told this was the calculator I was allowed to use.
Yeah, you're allowed to use it, but it's not my favourite one. You know.
Yeah.
This grey one is my favourite one because it has a good balance between ease of use and functions. You know, because if the calculator has too many functions, it becomes difficult to use.
Yeah.
If the calculator doesn't have enough functions, it's easier to use, but it's not as useful. So for me, the balance between the two is this calculator.
Mhm.
Okay. So once you go into mode 54, you can type in your quadratic as follows. You press, in my case, so here the first number, can you see, Sabrina, that's 18.
Yeah.
So what I do is I type in 18 and press equals.
You said mode 54, right?
Yeah, did I say mode 54?
152.
Mode 53, I think it was, yeah. The next number is 25, so I do 25 equals. And then the last number is 8, so I'll press 8 equals. And then what my calculator will give me, after I press it there, it'll give me the roots. So in my head I need to change these into factors. So it says the root is minus a half. So if x equals minus a half, what was the factor? Well, that's like saying 2x equals minus 1. I bring the 2 up. And that's like saying 2x plus 1 equals 0. So I've changed it back into a factor. So 2x plus 1 is the first one. Now if I go to the next one, try to do this in your head. So don't say it, but just tell me if you think you have it in your head. If the root is minus 8 over 9, what's the factor?
I know.
You think you know? Okay, so keep it in your head. Abir, do you think you can do? No, don't write it. Do it in your head. Let's see if you can do it in your head. So if that is the root, can we picture the factor? Visualize the movement. Don't say it. Just tell me if you got it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now, Sabrina, do you think you have it? So we'll listen to her and tell me if she's right or not. So what do you think the factor is?
This is me.
Yeah.
9x plus 8 equals 0.
Agree or disagree? Agree. Yeah. So it's 9x plus 8 then. Yeah.
Alright.
And that's the answer.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do I find this with my inferior calculator?
No, with a great deal of pain. So, I mean, you can do this on your calculator. You would get the same numbers by using this formula. You know that formula?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's no big deal, but it takes you more steps.
Okay.
You know. Alright, and so that is also a common exam question in section B as a long question. You know. So normally this question might have two parts. So part A, they might ask you for the long division. Part B, they might ask you for the factors. And maybe you guys can tell me, what do you think might be a part C? What might they ask you to do next?
Do the long division with the
After doing the long division and after getting the factors, what might they next ask you to do? Yeah?
I don't know what's that called. They tell us to just do x equal to 3 and then substitute it into 18x cubed minus 29 squared.
Why? What are you trying to get?
A different method.
No, I'll tell you. What would be a natural next question would be to ask a student to graph it.
Oh.
Because you know the roots. You can put the roots on the x-axis and then just make your graph. So that would be the natural next thing to ask you to do. Now I don't know if you've all done, I know obviously you did graphs with me today. Did you do graphing yet in maths? Have you covered this lesson yet? The solving and sketching? Making the graphs?
I don't remember drawing any graphs.
Okay, so you haven't probably done this yet. What's the last lesson you do remember doing? What's the last one?
Something like this.
Yeah, maybe it was the page before this one here, page 22.
I remember the teacher drew a graph, but we didn't draw any graphs.
Yeah, okay, you didn't draw any yet. So we can maybe have a look at that next week if you need to. Okay. So look, guys, my advice. This is good, it's productive, but to make it really work, what you should what you should do tonight is look at all the examples we did today and pick one out for you to try. And then you can know if you know it. You know. But we'll wrap it up there, okay?
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Thank you.
So will I upload this?
Sure.
I don't think you need to personally.
Okay, but would you not object?
Oh, no, I don't care.
Okay, good, alright.
Uh,
Because maybe somebody might want to review it when you're trying it later if you forget how to do it.
And it wrote down all your words.
graphical and Gaussian elimination.
No problem. Just try to remember to ask me next week at the start. And sure, you know, in our regular tutorial, if there's time, or if you're the first one to put up your hand, we can do that, okay? So just remember to be asking me quickly at the next one there.